he got asked about the Champions Dinner at the Masters, and we had talked about this a few months ago about like what's that going to look like with all these live guys showing up. I don't know if a fight's going to break out during this thing, and I had said that I want that to happen, just a little scuffle. Gary Player at the bottom of a pile, like holding on to somebody's legs, but
he'd be at the top of the pile. I think
he would be fucking people up probably, actually.
Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports, brought to you by our very good friends at Chevrolet, the bow tie, the whole deal. We got myself, Frankie, and Trent. We just had like a 30-minute meeting pre-show like we usually do. I got to say that after 2-week complete bender that we were on, really like a month and a half bender with all the things that had come up. We've been flying across the country, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Snip, snap, snip, snap. I got 3 days in the green on the Whoop band, so I'm feeling fucking great. We're going to talk about Whoop later. They are a sponsor on this show, so we'll get to Whoop. We're not here to talk about Whoop right now. We're here to talk about Tiger fucking Woods. Had a press conference yesterday. Dan Rappaport is walking with Tiger Woods right now. He's going to call in a few minutes. He's going to give us a real-time update of what's going on with Tiger Woods at Riviera. The Netflix documentary is out, so Full Swing is officially out. Came out at like 3 a.m. last night, so this show's coming out Thursday. It came out Wednesday morning, I guess you would say, at 3 a.m. Eastern time, so I haven't had time to go through the entire thing. I've had a lot of people hitting me up being like, I hope this thing's fucking good. I'm really hyped up for it. I'm more nervous about the documentary at this point than I am excited about it for, I think, obvious reasons of like, we're golf guys. We want it to be great. We want it to be the drive to survive. We want the whole world to become obsessed with golf, start listening to our podcast, start buying our merch. We become super, super, super rich and we don't have to worry about all this shit anymore. But I'm worried that golf's just not that cool to the average person. It's cool to us, to the average person. And then they're fucking telling people what birdies are. I don't know if that's overly riveting. So I'm a little nervous about the show, but mostly we're here to talk about Tiger Woods in the press conference yesterday. I thought he looked and sounded fantastic. Boys, hello, nice to see you. You can speak now. I feel like
good to see you guys. Yeah, the Tiger press conference. It was funny because there was one question in particular that everyone seemed to be fawning over about how, it was such a great question. That is like a thank you for asking Tiger Woods that question. And it was essentially the question that Frankie posed to us on the last podcast. It's a question about belief. And does Tiger Woods still believe when he enters these tournaments? Is he doing it because he thinks he can win, or is he just kind of at a stage in his career where, he wants to play golf at a high level, and if he wins, great. If not, it's great to participate and compete. And people were really freaking out about how it was such a great question, and I think Tiger gave the answer kind of that we thought he would. It was basically like, when I sign up for a tournament, I think I can win. I think I can come out here and beat these guys. But I just wanted to give credit to Frankie Borelli because the question that everyone loved at that press conference was the one that he posed on this very podcast.
You would have asked that if you were there, Frankie.
I would have asked that for sure.
I wish I could remember who asked the question. I would give them credit, but I wanted to give Frankie credit as well.
I appreciate that, Trent. No, it's it is an interesting thing. That's like, the guy is built different than anyone else, so he's going to have a different mindset on what it takes when it comes to winning and not competing when you can win. So the fucking press conference gave me just the biggest Tiger boner of all time. Dan's tweets from location have been giving me Tiger boners like crazy. I'm essentially growing stripes on my dick right now because it's just it's a cub. It's a little cub.
Did you work that one up before? Or did you just come up with that on the spot?
I just came up with it on the spot.
Know
that's nice.
That is good, and I liked it a lot. Did you guys know that the stripes of a tiger aren't just on their fur, it's also on their skin?
Is it on their dick?
I don't know. It's kind of where that's going. But
so if you shaved a tiger, you're telling me it would just look the same?
Dude, so I saw it on Twitter. So
wait a minute, what?
Fact check if you want. But I saw on Twitter that it was like a tiger had been shaved for some reason. And under it were the stripes that it had on its fur.
Wow.
Oh, you're saying that it's on its skin.
Wow.
You know what? Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I found one. Holy cow. Yeah, this one they like shaved a little square in this tiger. Holy moly.
You literally can't change a tiger's stripes because it's imprinted on its skin.
Hold on. Let me try to pull like a real move here. Can I send this in the group?
Shaved tiger skin. You ever seeing it?
Look at that.
Shaved tiger skin. Shaved.
You could see it's like
what does a tiger's dick look like?
It's like, is that what you would call that?
What'd you say?
pigmentation. Is that what you would call that? Like it has
I
the
wonder.
pigmentation of its skin is like striped as well.
Is tiger penis really a cure for ED?
Well, so
Feels like it's not a bad place to
if
start.
a tiger does have a stripe on the fur that covers its genital region, there is a chance that a tiger's dick does have
tigers
stripes.
notoriously horny. I mean, I know our ours is our guy is. I don't.
Dude,
right?
tigers' dicks are barbed.
Oh wow!
Like a fence.
Yeah, and that's why they scream so loud when they have sex because it sucks.
Hurts.
All right, I did not mean to derail
All
it this far
felines
off
have
of
a
the
barbed
path.
head.
Evolutionary flaw.
When
there.
the penis is pulled out, it grabs the female inside, and this tells her to release her eggs.
Come on, man. We didn't have to do this.
Oh shit!
We did not have to do this.
I need an ice pack.
I want to talk about this. So yesterday, I'm thinking the same thing. I got the tiger stripe dick hard on from the press conference, and then they cut to golf now or golf today or whatever they call. What is it now? Golf today. The show.
It's
in
golf
the middle
today.
of the day.
Yeah.
Golf today, right? And it's Damon Hack's up there. I think Eamon. I don't think Eamon was on, but they go to this Jaime Diaz, who he's been like editor in chief of all the golf world, all this shit forever. He's been going up there forever. By all accounts, incredibly nice guy, well liked, and he seems to have good insight from time to time. They cut to him, and it was like we were at a wake. He was like, yeah, my takeaway from that was that, Tiger might have said that he believes he could win, but realistically, he can't believe that coming into this tournament. I was like, did you listen to a fucking word?
Just
I was
ignoring
screaming
him.
at my TV. I was like, they asked him over and over and over again, Tiger, would you be a ceremonious golfer? Do you believe when you show up to these tournaments, you can actually win? You haven't played since the Open Championship over 200 days ago. Every answer he gave was like, I can't even fathom showing up to an event unless I'm here to win. I'm here for a W. He said it over and over and over again. And this fucking guy, he goes up on TV and it was a sad 5 minutes. He's like, he's finally resigned to this point. And I was like, what the fuck were you listening to? It drove me crazy. I was, So anyways, I had to get that out of my brain. And then I wanted to hear your guys' take because I was like, is that what everybody got from this? And then they threw it to Rex Hogger and they're like, Rex, is that kind of what you heard from Tiger too? And he basically said the same shit. And I was like,
that's
what
wrong.
the fuck are these guys listening to? From what I heard from Tiger Woods, he almost puked when they said ceremonious golfer. They're like, could you imagine yourself?
He stopped him mid-question. He was like, no, I'm not playing. No.
Don't put those words into the universe. I'm not even going to allow you to do that, is what Tiger Woods said in his press conference. And they're like, Arnold Palmer he became later in his career this ambassador for the game and showing up to the Masters tournament at age 60, knowing that you can't necessarily compete, but that's your place in the game that you've earned and growing the game. And he legit, like Trent just said, wouldn't even allow those words to be uttered by another human being, stopped him in his fucking tracks and was like, oh, no, sir. I'm Tiger Woods. I get good for those folks that they did that. I can't even imagine how a human could do that. I show up to fucking win. And he said it over and over again. And they cut to these fucking clouds on the Golf Channel. And they just like, what planet are they on? Everything I took away from that conversation was Tiger Woods has been practicing nonstop. They're like, oh, what was your preparation like between the last time we saw you at PNC and now? And he goes, well, I've hit golf balls every day. So
he says his leg has gotten significantly better.
Yes.
When he was talking about the progress of his leg, I'm like, what happened to this guy? He says the ankle's still an issue, but if we're making progress, we thought we got to the point where we had reached the amount of progress that we could have reached, that there was no more progress to be had when it came to the leg, that this is the life that Tiger Woods has to live. And the fact that he says he's seen significant progress in his leg, that he can walk better, that they've figured things out. Danny Rappaport tweeted that Team Tiger has like figured out like taping and all of these like shoe situations where he's now able to do things he wasn't able to do last year. If we're now moving that forward and we're moving the goalposts of what Tiger can do physically forward and we keep going, where can we go for next year? Where can we go for the year after that? I mean, I think he now sees that glimpse of light at the end of the tunnel being like, if I went from here to there and there to here, where can I go next? Like I bet you he thought at one point that there was a dead end and now he's seeing there's not, which is really, really great.
It is great. The guy made 2 cuts at 2 majors last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
And the leg was bad. We saw it in person a couple of times. He's just walking around and it looks like it hurts. So I agree with you guys that if the leg is even 1% better than it was last year, things could go a way that we all want it to go. I don't see, it's not doom and gloom like those guys are portraying.
Watching him in the Netflix episode from the Masters was incredible. I do have notes. I wrote down a bunch of notes for episode 1 and 2. I don't know if we want to get into that later after Danny calls. I also don't know, is there spoilers when it comes to the Netflix series? I know it just came out today. I mean, I think if you're a golf fan, you should just go watch it the day it comes out. Specifically the first 2 episodes. It's only an hour and a half of watching something that we've been waiting for a year. So I mean, it's not like I'm going to give away anything. It's like, I think at one point I'm like, JT won the PGA. So, I mean, I do have notes on the first 2 episodes.
Before we get to that, I want to say one more thing from the press conference. And he got asked about the Champions Dinner at the Masters. And we had talked about this a few months ago about like, what's that going to look like with all these live guys showing up? And Tiger gave an answer that was similar to what we said. He was kind of like, I don't know how it's going to go. He's like, I hope we celebrate Scotty in a way that he deserves because he is the defending champion. But he also said, like, the friendships that we had with some of those guys have gone in a weird direction. Legally, it's in a weird spot right now. So he doesn't kind of know how it's going to be. That is going to be now. I don't know if a fight's going to break out during this thing. And I had said that I want that to happen. Just a little scuffle, Gary Player at the bottom of a pile, like holding on to somebody's legs, but
he'd be at the top of the pile. I think
he would be fucking people up. Probably.
Yeah, he's badass. I was a little surprised by that answer because John Rahm, when we talked to Rob, he's like, yeah, I'm still friends with these guys. Obviously, I don't allow it to affect me personally. I could disagree with what they did professionally, but still be friendly with them. I've had real conversations with Phil and Sergio and all these folks. And Tiger was like, yeah, this has affected friendships. And I don't even know that the Masters dinner is going to be able to go off without a fucking brawl.
I mean, it's a big dinner for the live guys because if they can somehow have a good performance, that goes a long way in mending all of these rocky roads and relationships. But if it goes poorly and like Phil has one of those, like, trying to think of that guy that shows up to the wedding and everyone's like, that guy's a problem. And I hope he doesn't like make a scene. Why do we even invite him? And then he's just wasted at the bar and then grabs the mic and kind of just like does a toast to the wife and the bride. And it was like, they had an old fling and he says something like, he's still looking good up there. And everyone's like, Jesus, take the mic out of Phil's hands. I hope he doesn't have that kind of moment because I could see that more than I can see it going well. I mean, I could totally see Phil standing up, giving a toast to everyone, saying something, everyone being like, get the fuck down.
Well,
it's just like,
all it's going to take is one non-live guy to be like under his breath being like, well, you divided professional golf because you had to pay off your gambling debt. And then, then the room explodes.
What'd you say?
He's like, what's that now? And then,
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over these piles of money that's sitting next to me.
Yeah, these stacks, I can't, it's plugging my ears with these $100 bills. So I'm very interested. I thought Tiger's answer was interesting as well.
It's going to be really interesting. Imagine the fucking Netflix cameras could go in there for that. Oh, God.
The future. We talk a lot about the future on this show. Obviously, we enjoy futuristic type stuff. We speak about credit cards and swiping and the fact that you don't have to really swipe. You can now do the chip and that appears in the Netflix show and the whole deal. What's a big part of the future, fellas? I believe it's Chevy EVs for everyone everywhere.
Correct. Electric vehicles, baby. It's the way of the future. If you wait, you're too late.
Nice. From Bolt to Blazer. From Equinox to Silverado, Chevy EVs are for everyone, everywhere. We mentioned it earlier, but we saw one of these Silverado EVs in person, and it blew me away. What an elite vehicle that's got so much history. You've seen all the different iterations, and now that it is part of an EV, part of an electric vehicle, now that they've got over 2,000 certified EV dealerships, plus a growing network of public charging stations, it's here to stay. Again, you could get the Equinox, you can get the Blazer EV, the Silverado EV. They're powered by Ultium. They're affordable. You don't have to be rich to have an EV. You can go to their website. You can buy now the Bolt EV and the Bolt EUV. You can reserve now the Silverado EV. This established bow tie, full line brand of Chevrolet now offered in multiple EV vehicles. So do yourself a favor, go to the Chevrolet website. Go play with those buttons, change the interior, the exterior, the colors, the sport model. Do it with the EVs and see how cool these options are. Chevy EVs are for everyone, everywhere. All right, I'm confused. Bush, is Dan like here or not? I'm getting a bunch of texts. I'm just trying to figure out because as we're talking about Tiger, it'd be great for him to pop in.
He's ready, but he went back to the media center because his service out there is bad. So that's where the confusion was with you.
Yeah, but I know, but isn't he? He's ready to come in?
Yeah.
Bring him in.
I was gonna text him when you guys were ready. So
Let's do it.
he was ready right when you guys started. So I wanted you guys to open up.
Okay, I love it. Well, yeah, if we're talking about Tiger, I feel like that'd be a great time for the guys.
Just have him come in, Bush.
On site with Tiger.
Anytime.
Should just be in the show. It's kind of what I was hoping for. I took Tiger to win the tournament.
Wow.
I just
what are those odds?
It was $250 to win $37,000. I don't want to be on the wrong side. So if this guy wins a tournament, I'm not going to be like, I have money on fucking Jason Day this week and this guy that week, and I don't have money on Tiger Woods, and then he's going to come through, win 83rd. We're going to kick Sam Snead's record into the fucking gutter, and I'm not going to be on the right side of that. No chance. So I was scrolling through. I will say I was surprised how far down the list he was, like on the Barstool Sportsbook app. It obviously lists the favorites first. They do them in columns of two. So used to Tiger being up top, I kept thinking like they're going to screw us with the odds because he's Tiger Woods. They know we're going to take him. He's going to be like 10-1 to win the tournament. He's like a bazillion to 1, which I actually love. So he is, $250 to win $37,000.
I'm going to take that as well.
To win this tournament. And then we're going to talk about the Barstool Sportsbook, which people should go use and download. But I'm red hot on this thing. I've never been so red hot on this thing. I know people are like, you're going to jinx yourself, all that. Well, we're actually owned by Penn now, and Barstool Sportsbook is part of it. So I actually am just doing my job by talking about the Barstool Sportsbook. Like, if I'm red hot on this fucking thing and making all kinds of cash, which I am right now, and I don't talk about it, then what's the point in Penn acquiring us and owning us and us doing this Barstool Sportsbook thing that we're promoting? So I'm going to fucking talk about it. Last night I put 3 more bets in, 2 of them. One with Mr. Ice. I took the over in the Blues-Panthers game. Bang. It was like 6-2, I think. And then the other one, the Penguins game, which I didn't make it through the whole thing. Ryan Whitney, I saw him tweet out. He's like, I talked about it on the podcast. Pens lost last night. They're going to come out fucking raging tonight in like San Jose or wherever the fuck they were. They're going to win in regulation. Put money on that. Bang. Penguins won 3-1. Winner. And then the other bet I placed last night was Tiger Woods $250 to win $37,000. Wow. So that one's still at large. And then the day before, 3 + 3 = 7, I took Mr. Ice as well on the Senators game. And they're down 3-1 with like 3 or 4 minutes left. 3-1 they're down on home ice. I think they're playing like Calgary. Yeah, they're playing Calgary because I have Markstrom in fantasy, and he fucking sucks. Anyways, they're down 3-1. 4 goals, right? You got to get to 7. The over is 6.5. You got to get to 7. Bang, bang. Senators score 2 goals in like 30 seconds or something to tie it. Once you get to 3, you're obviously going to get to 7, and that's what happened. So I'm just red hot on the Barstool Sportsbook. People need to go download this thing and use it because it's a blast. And I'm sitting here. I'm in Arizona. Okay, it's later for me. These games, they start. The early games start at like 4 o'clock here or 5 o'clock here. The later games start when everybody else goes to sleep on the East Coast and it's 10 or 11 o'clock at night. I've got these late games with the Penguins playing over here on the East Coast, and you had the Calgary game and all that. It's nice to be able to stay up and use that Barstool Sportsbook. Dan Rappaport live from the media center.
You got a haircut, Riggs, didn't you?
Yeah, got a haircut. I had the wing coming out.
Too.
It was really
you got like
laziness.
a Euro cut.
It was really just laziness forever, just not getting your haircut. What's going on with Tiger Woods?
It's freezing out there. I'm surprised that he still does he still does
Don't
this.
Love that.
Because obviously he has his choice of when he wants to do the Pro-Am, and I guess he just loves playing at 6:30 in the morning. It's probably like 43 degrees and blowing like 25 miles an hour. So you could not make worse conditions for a guy in his physical state. But he looks pretty good. I mean, like the ball's not going anywhere. It's hard to judge how his game looks, but like physically, and I was talking to Robbie Mack about this, is like his walk is noticeably better. So apparently last year he was putting all the weight on the outside of his right foot, and people will know that like if you compensate like that and you're trying to walk a certain way, like your whole leg's gonna be in a bunch of pain. He was pigeon-toed, and I don't know if it's surgeries. He was kind of evasive about that, but they've got like new taping methods and new ways they've been working on the walk. So his walk is a lot more like the right foot is not turning in as more, and so it's less of a limp, which apparently puts less stress on the rest of his body. So
okay,
yeah, it's I'm excited to watch him. I think the pendulum has swung too far in the other direction, where I saw he was like plus 240 to make the cut. Again, this is Tiger Woods we're talking
I took him to
about.
win the tournament, obviously.
Yeah,
Two,
I saw that.
Yep, 250 to win 37,000. General, I mean, how many holes you get? I mean, it's so people know. We'll go throw a little context on this puppy. It's 8:43 a.m. over there in the LA area, Riviera. How many is he finished? Did he finish the pro-am? He's playing 9 holes.
No, I believe Sean. Is it an 18-hole pro? I think it's 18 holes. Yeah, no, he's playing 18 holes. He didn't play at all yesterday. He didn't play any holes yesterday. So I think this is the first holes he's played all week. He's playing 18 holes today, and then I think they're on like 9 right now, and then he'll be off, and he's late early, which was another surprise. I was very surprised that he's late early in his own tournament because, that's a quick turnaround. But I was asking Rob, and Rob was kind of like, well, like if he goes early late and then he makes the cut, he's probably like, you're going to have to play golf like in pretty quick succession.
Yeah.
That's part of being a professional golfer. There's really just no way to do it to avoid that turnaround.
Part of me was thinking that he was thinking, oh, I guess he has to stick around all weekend anyways. Okay, good. I didn't want him thinking like, I got my jet. I'm going to miss the cut Friday morning. I'll be in Florida by sunset, have myself a nice dinner. I didn't want him thinking that. Were you out there? You saw some action, some golf playing from Tiger Woods in real time?
Yeah, I saw some golf playing from Tiger Woods in real time. A couple of good par saves. He played the front. He's teed off 1, played the front 9. He's got a new 3-iron in the bag, which is a TaylorMade 770 with no offset. It's a custom one. The normal one has a little bit of offset. He didn't like that because at the Open Championship, when he hit stingers, the offset was making him hook it a little bit too much. So he's kind of fixed that problem. Look, he's very much in game mode. I think that's always the case, but he's like not really talking to anybody, not really looking at anybody. He's dropping balls all over the green. Like he was saying this yesterday, and I think it was probably the most interesting part of his press conference was when KVV asked him, like, could you basically be a ceremonial golfer?
That's
and I don't know if, and they were like, he was like, no, I can't even wrap my head around that. And so, he doesn't view himself as anything other than a contender this week, which, whether that's feasible or rational or not, that's how he genuinely feels, and that's part of the reason that he is who he is.
New taping methods. That's
figuring out how to walk again.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, no, it's these are the things he probably shouldn't have played at all last year, right? He probably should have just let it.
There's Colt Nose behind you.
Yeah, he probably should have just. You can tell by his silhouette. He probably needed, like, most people wouldn't have done it. He was just so eager to get back. But I'm encouraged by the way he looks physically. I think his walk is better. I feel better about him going forward, and I'm excited to watch him on Thursday. It's going to be electric. It always is.
His willingness to play early in the Pro-Am and then also playing late early, that makes me think he's just sort of like in a different spot. He's ready to rock.
Yeah, Rob was saying he's in a different spot. It's not the same as it was. Like last year, it was basically wake up and they had no idea like what kind of condition he would be in. Obviously, they still have to be careful with him, and it's not like he can wake up and start running on the treadmill. But there's a little bit more consistency in his condition right now, and they're figuring it out. He's got the best doctors in the world, the best physical therapists in the world. No one's ever had a fused back and basically an Inspector Gadget right leg and trying to play against Rory McIlroy and Jon Rahm. So they've got quite a project, and I think they'll continue to tinker and see what they can do to get him to a spot where he can hopefully just walk 72 holes, because the raw shots, the golf game is there.
Yeah, no one's ever, won the U.S. Open by 15 and won the Masters by 12 and won the Masters again after back fusion surgery and 8 million other surgeries and won 8. So, I mean, this is the guy to do it. He's Tiger fucking Woods. Dan, you were in the presser yesterday. I will say a small part of me, maybe from, a little bit of foreplay, narcissism when you asked your question, part of me was hoping he was going to slip in like a congrats on the new gig, by the way, which
way.
I was listening for like, imagine if he said something, but, in the presser yesterday, I was talking a lot about earlier that our takeaway, on this show, myself, Trent and Frankie, was like, holy shit, he's here to win. He was all business.
Eamon Lynch was walked behind Danny. Sorry.
He was all business. He was locked in. He was like ready to go. He's dismissing all this shit about ceremonious golfer. And then they threw it to Golf Channel, Golf Today, and they were like somber about the whole thing of like, oh, he clearly doesn't believe he can win and all this. It was weird as fuck. What was your takeaway being in the presser on sort of the mood of Tiger's legitimate chances and belief as a golfer?
Yeah, no, it's a good question because I felt that way, the same way you were talking about, where you guys are saying like, oh, he's very locked in, he feels like he can win, until that question about being a ceremonial golfer, and you could tell that he was. I think there's a little bit of dissonance going on in his head. I think he knows that his time is running out, and he's clinging to these last couple of years. But I genuinely do believe that he still thinks he can do it. I think he doesn't. I think if you asked him, are you going to break Jack Nicklaus's record? He would say no. But I think if you asked him, are you going to break the PGA Tour record, which is just one more win? I think he would say yes. I think he believes that he can do it one or two more times. He knows that it's not going to be forever. He won't have a stretch like 2018, 2019 when he played like 38 events over 2 years. That's gone. But he believes that he can do it once, I think, or twice.
I don't think he would say he can't beat Jack Nicklaus's record, but he might believe that.
Yeah, I don't think he would say it
fucking chance
either.
you get him to say that. I might.
No, I don't think so either. But I don't. I think he knows. I think he acknowledges his own the clock really and the count. Like he just doesn't have much more time left.
This episode of Foreplay is brought to you by our friends at Whoop. I'm going to show you a quick chart right here, and I want you to see what Phoenix Open week and Super Bowl week look like. A lot of red, almost dead, and then now we are abuzz, as people would say.
Grinding
We're building
back to the
green. Obviously, that first day back wasn't as high as the others because your body's still like, excuse me, what'd you do to us, sir? But Whoop, all right? Whoop is a wearable. You put it on your... we rock the wrist. Trent's got this one too. It's a little green that we got last spring. Been using it the whole time. This new one, the Whoop 4.0, it's sleek. It's smaller. You don't even notice it on there. I forget that it's on all the time. It comes with its own charger. Pop that thing on every couple days for a half hour or so, and boom, you're ready to go. 80% of Whoop members say they feel healthier with Whoop. I agree with that. You might feel like, I've been down a little bit. We've been getting after a little bit too much. Haven't been eating healthy. Maybe I've been having a few too many drinks. There's a lot of activities going on, but I actually feel pretty good this morning. And then the Whoop will tell you, oh, no, or yes on your recovery. And it gives you real, actual data. You don't have to have this like placebo effect of thinking that you feel better than you do. You're just going to know. This is not good for me. I need to recover. I need sleep. It gives you a sleep coach with everything from personalized recommendation to sleep coaching, which is great. You get a little notification from your Whoop app. It says, hey, this is your sleep coach. Guess what? It's time to start winding down. Consistent sleep, not just the amount of time that you sleep. Going to bed at a consistent time, waking up at a consistent time is enormously important for your overall health. Whoop helps you with that and tells you all about that. So go to whoop.com. That's WHOOP.com. Use the code FORE, F-O-R-E, for 10% off your order. Whoop.com. Use the code FORE. How's the rest of the vibe at Riviera? Is it all Tiger? Because this tournament is, we forget, like Max Homa, when he won here a couple of years ago, the year of the accident, was like, he's a Southern California kid, obviously. He's a Dodgers fan, loves LA. He basically said after, like, this is the biggest tournament that I can win. He's like, obviously there's majors and but he's like, for me, this is Riviera's a U.S. amateur course. It's heavily revered. We spoke on the last show. It's going to host major championships, and for him to win there. So outside of Tigers, he's sucking everything, like all the attention, or are people pretty hyped up about Riviera in general?
All the attention. It's wild, actually. it's wild. It's wild. I mean, last week we had this incredible tournament, right? You got the Scotty Scheffler's back to world number one.
He used a stealth too, by the way. He won with a stealth too.
Mm-hmm. Great player, great leaderboard, great finish, great tournament. And it's just the Tiger show completely again. It feels like a chaser to last week. Last week there were thousands and thousands and thousands of fans on Tuesday, Wednesday. They didn't even sell tickets today because no one would buy them. So there's no fans out here. It's just a wow. If last week was the shot, this is the chaser. Like last week was the craziness. This week is like country club, amazing golf course, everyone commenting on the nuances of the design, whereas last week was just a party. So it's definitely a different week. Have you guys been here? Have you guys been to this tournament?
No. That's wild that they don't sell tickets to the Pro-Am I mean, fucking 3M sells tickets to the Pro-Am.
Yeah, no, there's LA people just don't really go to this tournament.
What the
It's
hell's
not
going on out there?
It's not a big draw. I don't for whatever reason. So it just doesn't feel nearly as big as last week. So yeah, just kind of an opposite type of tournament.
Did I see Jay Monahan behind you? Was Jay Monahan roaming around behind you at one point?
I know there's a lot of kind of like 60-year-old white guys with gray hair in this room.
Okay.
That checks out. It is the media center for
It would
sure.
have been great to just have him come on the show. You know what I mean? Just have him.
I've
just
sent
be like,
out
"Hey, come
multiple
over here."
requests for Jay Monahan. I'm always told every time, I give him like a week. I'm like, well, we're gonna be in Ponte Vedra in a week, and they're like, we need way more notice. I'm like, yeah, have a week. Who the fuck? You have a week. We can't
Right.
get this guy on the show to try to promote the PGA Tour. I know some fuckers out there at PGA Tour HQ are listening who we're friends of. We communicate with them quite a bit. We're in a great relationship spot. We got merchandise in the tents. We're trying to get Jay Monahan on this show. That's a positive for you guys for the PGA Tour. So
Big time.
if he's out there walking around with D-Rap, why don't you grab him, Rap, and say, hey, we've been trying to get you on this fucking podcast here. If John Rahm came alone and sat down and said, hello, talk to me about whatever you want, I think we can get Jay Monahan.
I don't know. Something tells me it's not about how much time we give him. It's about him just not wanting to do it.
But,
Rahm
that was my concern.
Rahm was like dumbfounded. I don't know if you guys talked about this in the show, but he was like dumbfounded by how much action the interview got. He comes over yesterday and he's like, I heard the interview was pretty fucking popular. I was like, yeah, are you surprised? He's like, yeah, I am surprised. I didn't think it would blow up like that. And then he just talked about how badly he wants to do trivia. Guy loves trivia. He was like, we should do trivia with pro golfers, like do pro golf trivia against pro golfers. It's a good idea. He would definitely do it.
That guy over your shoulder is just
We've already sent
staring at us
text
right
messages about that. I think
Look at that
that's
guy
gonna
over your
happen.
shoulder.
Who the
Look
fuck
at him.
is that guy looking over your right shoulder? Who's that right there?
now. Dude, he's just staring at you.
This was
Look at
He's never
this
seen
was a
this
mistake
technology
because
before.
this crew, we can't focus. It's just not even close.
He's
I
scared
can
for
go.
so long.
I can go if you guys want.
No.
No. You on the show is great. It's just when you got action behind you, it's I feel like we're at a restaurant where the kitchen's open, and everyone's just
people
watching everything.
It's hard for an audio show, but we're definitely people watching.
When you told us that via the text, that got me hyped up. Obviously, we believe that when we do a show with John Rahm, it's going to be very popular and consumed, and people are going to talk about it. But to have him sort of understand that for me is fucking really cool. Like he's a couple weeks ago, everyone's like, John Rahm's number one player in the world now. He's the best player. He's not ranked number one. He's winning every fucking tournament. He's probably going to win a major or two this year, everybody thinks. And then for him to be like, wow, that show that we did was incredibly popular. That's really cool. I love that.
It was really cool. And he loved, I think we posted the video of Max Homa throwing a club, right? I think we posted that to our socials. He was like, so happy. I was like, why are you so happy? He's like, you guys posted something of someone throwing a club and it wasn't me. he's like people realize I'm not the only one. So he's definitely consuming the Barstool
Dude,
stuff.
I love
he's
John Rahm.
Me too.
The interview was great, but the main reason it was great was because he was so willing and open to talk about everything.
It was last week. I felt that I agree big time that for the first time watching him at the Phoenix Open was the first time I honestly, without a Barstool Sportsbook bet or some crazy storyline that was going on, was just genuinely rooting for John Rahm. Like, cause I don't know. I've never rooted against him. I never wanted him to like lose. It was cool when he won the US Open, making those bombs coming down the stretch. Very cool. But it's for us to like go out of my way to genuinely be like, let's go, like hit this good shot. When he made that putt on 16, that bomb on like Saturday that Colt Nose called, I was fired up for him. I was like, that's our guy. Like, I know that guy now. I understand what goes on in his brain. I understand that he gets fucking rattled when people comment about his wife being a gold digger. Like, this guy's real. And when he made those putts, it was good. Like, I was, for the first time watching that tournament, was like, that's our fucking guy. I like John Rahm a lot. I wanted him to play well.
Yeah, I feel similarly. Like, he was always a guy who just came off cranky, and I guess that's, you just don't know him. Like, I just thought he was, I would kind of avoid him, and now he's coming up and he's talking about Barstool stuff, and we're a month apart, so him and I are like, I'm starting to see him like a peer. It's a shift, and I think you guys know, like, you view these guys as like much older than you, and as these figures that are larger than life, and then you guys broke down that barrier with him, and I'm like, oh, he's just a guy who would have been in my grade.
I'm 5 years older than John Rahm, which is a problem.
Yeah, I'm like
I told my
6 or
parents
7
that because I went and hung out with my parents after we interviewed him, And I was like, yeah, he's 5 years older or younger than me. And they were like, good Lord. Like, what have you compare those accolades? They're like, Jesus.
It's crazy. Like, we've been doing this long enough that we're just going to be old now. Like, you can't have been doing this for 6 or 7 years and be young. Like, you just can't. The math doesn't check out.
There's a journalist here this week, Paulo Uggetti, from ESPN, and I was like, how old are you? And he said 27. And I think it was the first time that someone's been younger than me, and it rattled me. I was like, I don't like not being the youngest guy in this room anymore.
Oh, dude, there was a time when I was the youngest person at Barstool Sports. That was a thing that was a real thing. And now I'm 10 years older than
they're
some.
Sending you an AARP card for fucking Christmas now.
They're throwing dirt on me. They're like,
Trent,
this guy's gonna die soon.
Did you click the correct insurance? Because we need to make sure that you are completely insured, pal.
It is unfortunate when you start to become much older than your peers. It's unfortunate.
That's a shame. It's a damn shame.
So you going back out there, Dan? You going to go back out and see the cat?
Yeah, I'll go watch a little bit of the cat. Say hello, see and be seen to our guys. Colin, Rory's out there. Fitzy, pro-am days are great. Again, I've told you guys this. I find way more value out of Tuesday, Wednesday than I do out of Thursday through Sunday, just because you can actually talk to people, especially this week when there's no fans out here. And it's nice when Tiger is here, because there's sponsors and stuff who are here, so there's no fans, but there's people around. They're all watching Tiger. So you can get a lot of FaceTime with anyone who's not Tiger Woods right now, because everyone who's on site is congregated around his group.
Incredible. Let's get that Colin Morikawa scramble chatter going. Maybe you put him. Maybe you just give him a little like, the 4-man scramble would have got that up and down, or something like, just kind of start feeding his ears a little bit. See if you get the wheels turning.
I'll mention it to him for sure. I think he's got a couple weeks off after this, so I'll ask him what his
plans are.
let's
do it, dude. Let's fucking do it.
Bro, trust me, I would love to.
Tell him we're doing it. Say we're flying to you. We'll cancel whatever we got going on. We're doing it.
Okay. I will cancel my whole life. I don't
cancel everything. Yeah. I'm once you do have to go back to the course, but I'm going to end up getting to my notes from the first 2 episodes of
Let's
Full
do that
Swing.
while he's still here. Let's do that.
Oh, you want to do the notes of from Full Swing now?
Yeah, I think we do something. Do you want to throw a spoiler? Like, so from your notes? I mean, it's not really a spoiler. Like, people know the fucking story. It happened a year ago, so it's not like
no spoilers.
So yeah, let's go through it. I
thought Danny did great. I thought the apartment looked nice. Both locations. Dylan DeChair had the same background, so he did it at your place.
Yeah, felt a little bit like a cuck.
That is a cuck. He should. Yeah,
it was.
Were you watching him do his interviews?
Cook dinner with your fiance in the kitchen together and stuff, or how deep did that go?
I left to go to like a coffee shop and just knew that he was stealing airtime from me in my own apartment. So that was
nuts.
Yeah.
So I kind of I watched them this morning, and I just wrote notes, episode 1, and I just kind of wrote down as I watched it things that stuck out to me. And the first thing that really caught my eye, the trailer, like the teaser was incredible. Obviously all that stuff was nuts. Like, that is what the series is. That's where all the juice is. Like the up close personal, this is real, all the drama's coming down to this. You see Tiger, you see the whole thing. Then you get right into the episode and they hit you with a Ricky Fowler, and his description was world golf ranking 146. And you're just like, what the fuck was that? What a shot at Ricky Fowler to throw world golf ranking number 146. Shot. I mean, has anyone deserved anything like that ever? If you're just some casual fan and like this is who they're trying to cater this to, you're like, this guy's the worst golfer on the planet. 146. Is that supposed to be notable to a person that's watching golf for the first time?
They gave him 3 digits. This guy.
Like, oh god,
they go that they got.
Yeah, the messed up part is that Ricky was like a really big part of the show getting made. He was the first pro who said, I'll do it. So I feel like they kind of felt like they had to include him, even though he wasn't at all relevant for his golf. So he's kind of like a talking head. He's like one of us for the series.
I ended up writing this later on in my notes, but I guess this all ties in together. They throw around the rankings way too much. It's extremely confusing. So in episode 2, the first shot of Scottie Scheffler they show, he's world golf ranking number 1. Then they show 3 different clips of other golfers. They go back to Scottie Scheffler and it says world golf ranking 15. Then they go back to Scottie Scheffler and it says world golf ranking 8. So if you guys watch closely, the world golf rankings are changing based upon like whatever they're talking about, even though it's the same exact interview from whenever they talk to them. It's bizarre. It was driving me insane. Like How could you have the
It's weird.
same episode with Scotty Scheffler and call him world golf ranking number 1, and then 2 minutes later have the same interview from the same place, same outfit, same background, and then you call him world golf ranking number 15? It's like, if I'm not a golf fan, I'm like, what happened from minute 1 to minute
You're
6?
like, how many-
that this guy,
How many clones are in the rankings?
or just like
It's
what
the
happened in the
same-
golf season that this guy's jumping around? It's not like Drive to Survive where you're like, there's one master standings list where the guy's slowly moving up. It's like you don't know where the fuck these guys are.
Yeah, the sequencing of the show is it's interesting. It was definitely a choice. I don't think that the first episode was originally supposed to be the first episode, and
It's
I think
a great episode. Like
I
those
think
guys
some of the
have
Netflix.
juice.
I thought
yeah,
it
I
was
think
good
some,
too.
it's just it's a little strange. You start with the PGA and then you go back to the Masters.
But that's
and
all
you
fine
jump
to me.
ahead.
Just don't put the world golf rankings as if you're trying to keep it in real time, like of what they're talking about. That was very confusing. I think they can get away with it by just eliminating what ranking they are. I don't know, like if you're putting that in to kind of give it like that wow factor to the viewer, like, oh, we're about to talk to the number 1 golfer in the world. Do that for the number 1 golfer in the world, but stop putting in like 15, 19, 27 because it's all over the place. Like at one point, Joel Damon was the 192nd best golfer. It's like, what are you talking about?
Right. They should put like 8 PGA Tour wins or
Well,
6
yeah.
PGA Tour
Right.
wins.
And I get the number 1 thing, but they also, if they're going to do that, and I haven't seen the second episode yet, but they should do, like, if you're going to do that, you need to explain that the rankings fluctuate dramatically and frequently, right? Like this last, like 2 weeks ago, Rory McIlroy was just the number 1 ranked player in the world. Now it's Scotty Scheffler. Like
Yeah.
you need to understand, because if Scotty appears and they're like number 1, you're like, this is the guy. And then a week later, he's not the guy. It's like Rory won twice in a row. So I think explaining that probably would help, because it's not like it was when Tiger was number 1. Tiger was number 1 for like 8 million weeks. So it's like,
Yeah.
he's clearly number 1. He's number 1, and that's not going to change. Whereas when these guys are fluctuating all the time, you kind of need to explain.
Yeah,
that.
I would put like he was number 1 for this many weeks of the
Right.
year. Like that's how you give the context of it. You
There you
don't
go.
fluctuate. You just say this is Scotty Scheffler and he was number 1 for the majority of this year, like however many weeks that it was. That's an interesting thing that
Just
they did.
look out for them from now on. You're going to see.
Yeah, I didn't
especially in
notice that.
episode-
That's interesting.
In episode 2, it's going to drive you nuts. But I thought that the editors did a great job, because it is hard to fucking encapsulate an entire season of golf into a 38, 42-minute episode, whatever it ends up being. I thought they did great with the JT and Spieth stuff. I wrote down pillow behind Spieth in his interviews was outrageous. He had a pillow behind him. It was just sitting back here, and it looked like a baby being propped up on a couch to watch. Like
as soon as
Sing
he walks
too?
in, I'll stop. Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
who's
Tom Kim's about to come in for his press conference, and the
they're
media
telling
officials
you
like
to
once
stop?
he comes, he's like, once Tom Kim comes in, you can't. I mean, it's super fair. I can't be talking while Tom Kim's talking. It would just be a bad. situation.
You're in the press conference room.
Yeah, here I can turn this
That was
around. for you
insane.
guys.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you are.
Is it
All right,
weird,
so-
D-Rap, that everybody's listening to you?
I don't really give a shit anymore, guys. I mean, everyone looks at me weird because of the Barstool thing. So you get to a point where you're just like, you're not going to be for everyone.
I
That's
love
just kind of
that.
how life works.
I love
Yeah,
that.
no, I mean,
Taking
I've-
over that room,
dude.
Take
I've had
over
a big,
that fucking room. Can they hear us?
I've had a
Can
big
those
shift
losers
in
hear
the.
us?
I've had a big shift in the last couple of weeks, really since San Diego. I think you guys probably have sensed it. Where it's just like, I kind of get it now. You know what I mean?
D-Rap's
Like,
you found your stride. He's found his stride.
I was trying to like be someone that I'm not, and it's things are a lot better now.
Good.
I love
Yeah.
to, love
Dude,
to
you're
hear
in
that.
the
Justin
media
Rose
center
interview
at
was
Tiger
great.
Woods tournament.
You're snagging
I
Nick
know.
Taylor for us. Like the things are headed
We're
in
humming.
a very
We're humming a little bit.
So
and,
tell me
like,
we
about
are kinda humming.
this Tom Kim dinner the other night. He's coming into
Yeah.
the room, right?
Yeah, so I went to a an event at a golf course, like a promotional full swing thing where they were doing a screening, and JT was supposed to come to the screening, and word got around that he wasn't going to come to the screening, and they were like, "Oh, he's stuck in traffic. 10 minutes later, he zooms in from a Korean barbecue restaurant, clearly a couple drinks deep, with Spieth right next to him, and they're like, "Sorry, like Tom researched this place for us to come," and like Tom Kim went and tried it before because he was nervous and he wanted it to be a good experience for Jordan and Justin and Max Homa, so they called in and they were having a good time with their caddies. But yeah, Tom Kim said that he researched it, he went there, he sampled it, and he picked up the bill. He's like, I think
Wow.
his exact words were, "I know those guys are 10,000 times richer than me, but I had to make make a good impression.
That's a
Tompkins
good move.
He's getting into the crew pretty quick.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
We like
I
Tom
like it.
Kim.
We like Tom Kim a lot. Good for him. He doesn't drink either, right? So he's kind of
No, not yet.
he's
At least
I like it. I like.
His
Yeah.
first
Is he
ever
20? Is he
party
21?
was-
I don't think he's 21. I think he's 20. I know he's definitely.
First ever party.
Was that-
He
Yeah.
goes when he
That's what he
that,
said,
Frank
right?
goes, "You've never been in a
Collection of
space
people.
where a collection of people were like spending time together." And he was like, "Nope, never."
He said he had never been around a collection of people celebrating something in his life.
He turned pro when he was
nuts.
16 years old and
love
moved to like
Never
Japan.
even stumbled upon a party.
By accident.
love
You think
him.
it would happen? Yeah.
He turns 21 on June 21st.
I love
he's
him.
Still 20.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I think he's
I
about to
like
walk
this.
in, so I'm gonna get
All
going.
right, Dan.
all right, Rap.
Danny.
Keep up the great work out there. Follow Rap on Twitter. He's tweeting out all kinds of good nuggets of information from the tourney. So keep it up, pal.
See you guys.
See you, Dan.
See you, Dan.
So one of the things I was saying, I don't know if did you guys both watch episode 1? Trent, did you get a chance to watch it yet?
No, I'm gonna watch.
Oh
it
my
once we're
god,
done
you're gonna
here.
die when you see the way they propped up Jordan Spieth. I don't know what it was. Something about maybe his back was hurting or his neck, but they put him on this couch. He's obviously in a really nice house, and then they put this big black pillow behind him, and he looks like one of those babies that you prop on like a huge pillow so that they don't fall over because their heads are too heavy.
Yeah.
Like, it's an outrageous look for a guy to be talking about like how serious his job is with golf and all the drama that comes with it, and he has a big old pillow behind his back because his neck hurts. That was nuts. JT tried to use he's never used a chip reader on a credit card machine before. That was stunning to me. He's at CVS going to buy some like allergy stuff, and he's swiping, and it's like card denied, card failure, and he's like looking around being like, how does this work? And he's like, is it chip? He says at one point like chip, and just like plugs it in and it works. And then he left. He looks at the guy to his left, and he's like, I hope you have an easier time at this than I do. It's like, well, yeah, the guy just fucking put the chip in. Has he never used a credit card chip reader in his life?
All right,
So-
let's think about when this was filmed. How long had the chip reader been around? How long has the chip reader been around?
Years.
Chip reader's been around forever. Trent.
Okay.
It's been around
Years.
forever.
I feel like it's been 2.5
5 years. 5
So I got a
years?
question of which one do you guys use? Because there's a lot of options now. You can insert chip, you can tap chip,
I tap
you
now.
can slide a card, or you could even just tap your phone.
I tap chip.
I tap my phone. I have my
I
card
tap-
hooked up to my phone.
Yeah, that's what I feel like most people do. I tap chip from
When you hook it
card.
up to your phone and you tap your phone, you feel like you're living in 2050.
That little vibration's nuts.
Just
I got to get that. I worry about that though. I worry that people are just going to walk by and like tap my phone like from their fucking. I don't know. I don't
they
know.
can fucking they can
Like they're going to have
They
one of
can
those
get
devices
anything.
from The Last of Us and just stick it up to my pocket and fucking.
That's actually a good call. They probably could do that.
I've got
I know.
we can go, you got more notes. I want to talk about The Last of Us because I got
Oh yeah,
beef with
we'll
that
get
show.
into that. But no, just
Okay.
real quickly, like I was saying, being reminded how far JT was back on Sunday at the PGA Championship is why this show is going to be successful. Because you hear all these like, and maybe they re-recorded them to make it sound more dramatic, but they had an announcer. It sounded like an international announcer being like, Justin Thomas has a 1.2% chance to win today. Like I doubt they would have said that to a guy that was seven
Right, they
strokes
go
back.
through the whole field and tell everybody's percentage. That
There's
morning.
no chance. They definitely just re-recorded that to put that in the show, which is fine. I mean, that's just good producing. But at the end of the day, that is why Drive to Survive. That is why Full Swing is going to be must watch for however many seasons it ends up going on for, because we knew Justin Thomas won the PGA Championship. We knew that. We were there. We watched it happen. Mito Pereira, the whole entire deal. At the end of the day, watching it unfold, like knowing he had all this fucking allergy sickness the night before and how stressful he was and how stressful the driving range session was the night before, being like, I can't find a thought out here to hit a good swing. And then all I need is one good shot to get my day going. And then my favorite part of the whole episode was he's on the driving range waiting to see how the guys were going to finish and Mito was going to finish. And he has to have Colt Knost describe shot for shot of what's happening on 18. And because Colt didn't have a monitor. So he's standing there as Justin Thomas is getting ready to prepare for a possible playoff. And Colt's like, he just put one in the water, and Justin like hits another shot. And he's like, he just chipped it over the green, and Justin hits another shot. And he's like, and then Colt's like, I think he's like 3-putting. Like he was just like, he goes, he's not even going to make the playoff. Like it's just you and fucking Will. And now we're on to the fucking playoff. I loved that. That to me is like, yeah, that's why Netflix
thought that was the best
bought
part.
this.
That
That's
was the
why
best
Netflix bought this show. It was great. So I thought everything was fantastic. Brooks, obviously, in episode 2 was a lot. The guy just doesn't think he can play golf anymore, and that's obviously why he went to live, I think. And if he doesn't admit that, that's insane. That guy struggled with a lot of stuff last year, just thinking that he can't compete. So it's a really good series. Shout out to all the Full Swing people. I thought they nailed it. I mean, they could have showed more golf. I think it's crazy they can't show like the TV coverage where you would see like a tracer. Like they can't show a shot. Like you were saying, everything's like down the line and shit.
I
It's
hated
fucking
that.
bizarre.
There's no context to the shot when they do that. He could be on the driving range. They're just showing a side angle view of someone swinging a golf club.
Dude, the
it
only
doesn't look
one they
from that
showed
view any
was-
different than like you or me swinging a club.
Was
Really,
that little abbreviated swing that he did on 18 that went into the water. Like the only one they showed from behind, but they didn't even put a tracer on that. So a lot of times I tried to put myself, you know what I fucking hate is that like now we're trying to watch it as if we're like one of those like novice golf watchers. Like I feel like that's always in the back of my head being like, oh, this is just made for someone that's never watched golf before. And like the more I think about that, the more angry I get at how difficult they're making it for someone like that to watch. You know what I mean? Like no one fucking knows how dramatic that 18th hole was without seeing the tracers and all of the shots. Like they showed 2 swings on 18. So I don't know if that's like a coverage thing, if they're not allowed to show it. I wish there was more swings in it.
They got to be able to show it, right? Like, didn't they all sign off on that? Or you think that's like CBS broadcast
That's what I was thinking. It might be broadcast rights, dude. Like they might be limited to how many actual golf shots they can show. It might be only shots that they can capture with their own camera, which like who knows how many they have out there.
That'd be interesting to find out. We could ask Chad Mum.
Yeah, but I thought Chad did a great job. That big executive producer thing came up at the end, and he's just right
love
there.
that,
It's the first name you see. It's just like boom, Chad Mum.
Bang, right in your fucking
He's
face.
been fucking grinding over this thing for years. So congratulations to him, the whole team. I thought it was good. I think everyone's gonna love it.
We got to get him on. I just hate I feel like anytime we're about to get him on, he does the car wash and he's fucking everywhere. And I'm like, all right, Chad, let's get you on when you're not everywhere. But he's a phenomenal dude. We spent a bunch of time with him at the Torrey Pines last year, which is their like one of their first events that they were even doing any of this. And then he played in the Barstool Classic Saguaro Scramble last week.
That's right.
Yeah, really good dude. And yeah, I noticed that too. I like gave a little clap when he popped up. It was like as soon as the episode ended, just bang, Chad Munn right in your face. So yeah, I thought it was really good. Red hot, boys and girls. Red hot on the Barstool Sportsbook. You got to have a little skin in the game. You just do. Makes everything better. The Super Bowl was better. When I went to Cameron Indoor a few weeks ago with our very close personal friend Tom Pashley, had some money on Duke -3. It was a tight game, back and forth, 2 points, 1 point, this lead, that lead changes, whatever. And then at the end of the game, Duke goes off. They win by 6. Bang. Feels even better than just being there and feeling the vibe. You want to feel that intensity, that passion that all the other people in the arena are feeling, in indoor are feeling. Having a little skin in the game is going to help that. Red hot with Mr. Ice. Go follow Elio, who's Dave's buddy, who does these over bets in hockey, and he tweets out these videos. He's incredible. Go follow him on Twitter. Whitney gave me a winner last night. It's just winners right now. It's a good place to be in, and we're going to roll right in because For the Cut has hit 3 of the last 5 weeks, a +825, a +800, a +425. That just equals winning. So do yourself a favor. Go get the Barstool Sportsbook app. Make sure you download that. Use the code FORE to create an account. You get $1,000 new player bonus. If your first bet loses, get up to $1,000 in bonus. Cash must be 21 plus. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. But here in Arizona, we have the Barstool Sportsbook, and it's obviously been here for 2 or 3 years, and it's very, 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 very fun to use and get involved in the game. So go check out the Barstool Sportsbook. Go download that puppy. Again, must be 21 plus. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Go download the Barstool Sportsbook today. Use the code FORE. The Last of Us. I finished it last night. The first season.
It's not done yet.
There's more episodes for sure, right? Like at least 2 or 3, right?
Or is it over?
Wait, is there? No, but I'm saying I finished like what's available.
You're caught up.
Oh,
Sorry. The first 5, right? Or what's available right now, 5 episodes. My thing real quick, I don't have a ton of notes just because I'm just going off my seat of my pants here. But my first thing is I'm really glad because I stopped it about an episode and a half in and was like, this just isn't for me. I'm not a zombie guy. It was a lot of them crawling through fucking sewers and you're just waiting to get like startled. And I'm like, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't want this. I'm glad I powered through that because of, I think Frankie had said it of like, you know, you just need to get through it. There's a lot of good stuff. The episodes when they do the flashbacks and they take you through how it unfolded in real time is worth it because that's some of the best TV I think I've ever watched.
The whole show should be that. I hate the zombie stuff. I think the zombie stuff is so fucking stupid. I love the show. I think it's so stupid. Anyone that's sitting there and being like, that's fucking awesome. It's like the same thing every episode.
Right.
Well, so more guys are coming out of the sewers and running out after. It's like, give me context. I don't know, but they've done a great job. I mean, we're all caught up. They're introducing new characters, and that's where all the context comes in. That all the non-zombie stuff is some of the best TV I've seen.
Right. The beef that I have, and I really do like the show. I agree. The flashbacks are incredible. The Bill and Frank episode was unbelievable.
Awesome.
Nick Offerman was as good as can be. And
he should win awards for that, by the way.
Absolutely. I don't know
which one is he in there? Which one is he?
He's the guy
Bill.
he's like he's the survivalist.
Bill. So what else is he in that I would know him from?
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's Ron Swanson.
You know I'm bad with that shit, but he's
You are.
great.
But he's
he's a comedic actor, and then all of a sudden he puts on like the performance of a lifetime as a gay man. It's like I mean, he pulled this out of his fucking
phenomenal
out of his ass. Just like the most incredible drama performance we've seen in our lifetime. I mean, he was incredible as an actor.
I've scrolled past any Last of Us tweets or anything like that because I knew I was going to watch it. Have people been touting that episode as one of the great episodes of TV in history? Because that was
yes, yep,
oh
yeah, big time,
absolutely.
It makes grinding through all the fucking dog shit zombie stuff completely worth it when they hammer you with an episode like that. I couldn't believe that episode.
It was unbelievable. So the parts that I have a beef with, and it's a zombie trope, and you just, if you have a zombie show, you're gonna have parts like this. But they've already done this thing twice, and it's where you're with the group and they get attacked by all of these zombies, and it's chaos, and there's a lot going on, and they somehow miraculously get out alive, and it's like, oh my gosh, thankfully we got through that, and now we're back at this safe house or this hotel. And then one person in the group unveils that they were bit by a zombie. And then everyone else in the group is like, well, now we got to shoot this guy in the head. And you can't get away from that as a zombie show, but they've done it twice already. And it drives me crazy because it's happening even before it's happening. Like in the latest episode, you just knew that it was going to end tragically. And I wasn't sure which person it was going to be. And then I don't want to spoil too much if people are still watching, and then it happened, and I was like, they did it again. And you can't avoid it as a zombie show. That's the stuff that drives me crazy when they use the tropes, because I agree with you guys that the flashback stuff is great, and all the stuff in between zombies coming out of the ground and attacking people is amazing. And it's unavoidable, I suppose, but it still drives me crazy.
I agree.
Last episode I thought was the most video game episode that they had. I could actually, because I had never played The Last of Us, and it's obviously an adaptation of the video game, but I knew that scene,
the sniper scene
was absolutely, and I had never played the game, but I know for a fact that sniper scene was like a huge scene in the video game where you had to like snipe Ellie, like her way to safety, you know what I mean? Or Elle,
for sure.
Ellie. You have to snipe her way to safety, and it was probably one of those scenes where it's like you failed a million times and you kept hitting retry, and you're like, all right, she's in the car, this little fucking zombie's coming after her. I got to snipe that zombie in the head, and then she's got to run. It felt like a video game, so that I guess was kind of cool. But I just don't need that to be the big moment every single episode. So I don't know. I know that it's a zombie show, and I know that you're getting what you get with the zombie show. I wish one time it would be original where you're like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. But unfortunately, every zombie show to this point has been like, yep, I know exactly how this episode ends.
Robbie Fox was telling me, I was in the office yesterday, and Robbie Fox, we were talking about the show, and he said that people who are maybe fans of the video game or big fans of the show or both, they get mad when you call it a zombie show. You have to, they're all called infected, or you have to, it has to be
zombie show. It's a zombie show.
It's a zombie show. It's a clear-cut zombie show, but people get mad.
It's a great show. We're not shitting on it.
It's a zombie show.
It's must-watch TV on Sunday nights. I haven't missed an episode. I enjoy it. I sometimes skip through the scenes where they're walking through dark tunnels. That's just what I do. I kind of
Dude.
hit the plus 15 because
Yeah,
I just
when
don't.
that
I don't need that fucking in my life. I don't.
in the
need to
last
have that feeling.
episode, you can skip like a minute if you want. But when she wakes up in the morning and the little kid's sitting on the bed, I was like, I know where this goes. I know exactly where this
I
goes.
unfortunately watched that part because I
did
didn't.
too.
I thought maybe he was already dead or something. I
Nah,
still
dude, come
waited.
on.
I'm
Then
with
I
you,
didn't
Trent.
understand
It's
with all the
almost like in
blood.
when that same storyline that they just rehash every time. It's almost like in 24 when like one of their friends betrays them. You're like, oh no shit. Every season is the same. And it feels that way where you're like as soon as they escape, you know it's one person. You don't know which one it's going to be. They threw a little wrinkle in the last one, and we don't want to spoil the entire thing. But I'm in. I like the show a lot.
The interesting parts of a show like that are always ends up being human beings where like that Kathleen lady, like her running a town and like them kicking Fedra out, like that stuff is super interesting. It's just that they always have the crutch of, by the way, there's all of these zombies that can fuck up everything all the time.
Yep. And then, I was thinking about in the last episode, they almost have unlimited opportunity with those type. It's almost like if the show Lost had just unlimited islands where they could just go meet new civilizations. Like that's sort of they just went to Kansas City and they found all that shit that they just found. How many fucking hundreds of cities are there that they could find? They found the underground people where the remnants of them. So like there's going to be some really cool interactions, hopefully, that kind of gives them an unlimited runway to go after, which is it's cool. It's a really cool show.
I'll be interested to see how it all ends. Like, I mean, obviously, there's
I know.
no good ending when the whole world is infected unless they figure something out. Obviously, Ellie is a huge part to that, so it'll be interesting. And the thing that drives me crazy is people have played the video game and they know the ending. So hopefully, they all don't spoil it. Like, I think the world has been pretty good about that.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. Speaking of video games, real quick before we go on, Hogwarts Legacy came out. It's a game that Hogwarts and Harry Potter fans have been waiting for years. It took them, I don't know how many years to finish this game. I've been playing like crazy the last 2 or 3 days ever since it came out. I mean, I must have logged like 7 hours yesterday on it. Just
has a
in and
Harry
out.
Potter Christmas Village, by the way, so that makes sense.
Dude, it's an open world video game. You can do whatever you want. When I tell you that I don't know how much time they spent on this game, but it's basically like a 200-hour long movie, and you get to just like interact with everything within the movie. It's nuts. Like every person that's walking by you can stop and talk to, and they have a story or a challenge for you to then go on and do. And you can walk into every single door that has a door. Every single building that has a door, you can walk in there and you can look around, and it's crazy. So I went as a student. Frankie Borelli is a student, a 5th year at Hogwarts, and I went and I did the whole thing, and I got to the Sorting Hat, and I was super excited to see what class.
You love this so
Dude,
much.
just if you're watching on YouTube, he can't stop smiling. He's giddy. Frankie Borelli doesn't get giddy that often. It's usually when he's talking about Harry
touching
Potter.
my pee-pee as I talk. So
now that they have allowed him a video game has been created where he can enter the world. He is giddy.
Oh man! So I brought my Xbox from the gaming station downstairs to that LG OLED TV, and I'm just sitting on the couch playing it. It's been amazing. So I was super excited to get sorted into a house. This is something I've always been waiting for. I've taken like the quizzes on Pottermore and the Wizarding World websites and all that stuff, and you're always trying to get into Gryffindor. So I'm taking this, the Sorting Hat's asking me these questions, and you have all these options where he's like, basically trying to see what kind of person you are. And you could say like, I'm curious about that, or I don't care about that.
Did you tell the truth?
I told the truth. But then I also tried to get into Gryffindor.
Of course you did.
I was answering questions on what a Gryffindor classmate would say. But I also was trying to tell the truth. There was a couple questions, right? And the Sorting Hat's like, curious. All right. And you sound like, and then he fucking said it. And I'm a fucking Ravenclaw, dude. Probably the most boring ass fucking. I mean, I'd rather be a Hufflepuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be, it goes Hogwarts, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw. So you know what I did? I fucking went in and I just changed it to a fucking Gryffindor.
Oh,
yeah.
Come on, dude.
I don't want to stay in the Ravenclaw house. I want to go into the Gryffindor house and all the main fucking, the hangout areas. I want to see all the shit that Harry saw.
That's Bush League. That's fucking Bush League.
I don't care. I'm enjoying my ass time. I transferred. I transferred from Ravenclaw to Gryffindor.
Hey,
what else?
Hey, guess what, dude? You're a Ravenclaw.
Come on, dude.
You're a Ravenclaw. I don't make
I
the
wasn't
Sorting Hat
answering
makes the decisions. I don't make the decisions.
I wasn't answering the questions completely truthfully. I was trying to pose as
They
a
knew,
Gryffindor,
dude. They
and they
fucking
knew,
knew.
and they
I
put me
love
in a
that they
fucking
knew. That's what you
Ravenclaw.
get. That's what you get.
I
You're a
had to
guy.
come
This is what I
clean.
don't get. Like, you're a guy who loves Harry Potter. You
Yeah.
love everything about it. You love the movies. You
Mhm.
saw them a million times. Now you're playing Hogwarts Legacy, and then you have the audacity
I had to.
go against the Sorting Hat.
I had
That's
to.
crazy.
I had to.
You're like
I
a guy that
fucking-
lies to the doctor when they're like, "Oh, how much do you eat like sugar?"
Yeah.
And you lie, and you're like,
Do you
"Guys,
drink?
No, I'm trying to help
Occasionally.
you. Like, I'm here to help you. You don't. It doesn't benefit your person.
You know what?
to lie to me.
I thought about just like I wanted to see all the stuff and like just the Gryffindor house.
They're
and
gonna
all
smell it on you, dude. They're gonna be like, "This dude's a fraud."
that. But I'm
How many
already.
beers a week do you have? Like 4 or 5. Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm already projecting myself as a bad boy in the show. Like every time they give you the option where they're like, "Oh, like, do you want to tell me where you were?" I'm like, "No." Like I never am truthful with it, and I'm like, I'm hanging out with the Slytherin guys. I'm hanging out with a lot of Slytherin guys. So like, I'm not. They're definitely seeing that I got into the wrong house. But yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait to go back downstairs.
part of
and
you
play.
want to get Slytherin at all?
Definitely, yeah.
I think you want to be I'm a novice when it comes to Harry Potter, but you either want to be Gryffindor or Slytherin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ravenclaw.
The other
for
two are
birds,
nobodies.
dude. For the birds, I wasn't going to be some fucking.
Are both pretty juicy.
I wasn't going to be in some fucking nerd group as I play Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not walking around in those colors, dude.
Right.
That's
You either want to
nah.
be jumping around with Harry or smoking cigarettes with Malfoy.
Right.
Yep, that's right.
So it's a fun ass game. The only thing is like I don't know. Alex Bush is a resident nerd. When I start flying around, my game was crashing. I don't know if my Xbox has enough like power or juice. I'm flying around this place.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Dude, the game was just saying like it's got to be online or some shit. I don't know. It was crazy, but it's a great game. The graphics are amazing. I honestly recommend it to everybody.
I recommend it to everyone as well, but don't cheat the Sorting Hat.
I know.
You are what you are, pal.
I'm
That was a
not a
mistake.
Ravenclaw. I would love to go back and take it truthfully. I really wish I would.
Do you think if you were a tattoo guy, would you get a Harry Potter tattoo? Or let's not even say, let's say you as a person, would you get a Harry Potter tattoo?
I don't know. I think there's other things I would get a tattoo over before that. Islanders.
We're not tattoo guys.
I would no, but I'm saying if I had to choose,
Do you think we're too late to the tattoo?
I'm just too pathetic.
I think it needs to be like something I did when I was younger. It's like
No, I think you could still get a tattoo. If I got a tattoo on my body, that would be. I mean, I don't even think they would tattoo it on me. They'd be like, I can't.
I think the needle would go right through
It
you.
would go right through me. It'd like break my bone.
Like wet paper would go right through
It
you.
would like break. He'd be like,
Be
dude,
like,
I'm
this guy
touching
doesn't belong
bone.
here.
just like pus would come out.
Riggs, you don't have one, right? Or do you?
No, I don't have it.
I would do a Borelli's. I would do a Borelli's one first. Maybe like since 1955 or something like that.
I could
would
see
do-
you being
That
like
would be
a
cool, like a cool tattooy version of it.
Yeah.
You're like a 2024 Stanley Cup champions New York Islanders type of guy.
No, I can't. The Islanders are really starting to affect my life. I'm starting to like be mean to the people around me. I mean, they had a chance to like hold on, and they're losing games. They lost against the Ottawa Senators last night. They've had 2 power plays in overtime in back-to-back nights and lost. I mean, when you get a 4-on-3 in overtime, that's an automatic goal, dude. Like they're being way too complacent.
Dude, the Blues. How about the Blues finally dished Tarasenko, and he scored for the Rangers on his
I can't talk
second
about that.
shift. 2
First
minutes
shot.
into the fucking game,
For sure.
he scored. Oh,
Yeah, that's
But
a
the Blues
problem.
have won back-to-back games since they dished him,
Unfortunately
so you
for
never know.
me, I can't live in a world where like when my team doesn't make it, you're just like, all right, draft, new players come in next year. Let's go. We got them next year. We showed some promise. Like, yeah, we fell off for 2 years, but unfortunately for me, I have to now worry about the team that's in Manhattan, and that like I have
Yeah,
to
you
now
do.
sweat out that they don't win a Stanley Cup. That's been my life forever, and I know that's been Rangers fans' lives also. Like for the last couple of years, they were like, we can't have the Islanders win. While
Dude, you're
we're
just
not in
like
the playoffs. I
you're
have 2
trying to
teams I
get
got to worry about.
You're trying to get to Idaho with Ellie, and you forget that there's just fucking zombies that are actually coming after you too.
Right.
And
I'm
the
going to do
Rangers-
everything in
think-
my
yeah,
power to
right.
make sure they don't win. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, I can't do shit. And I just have to wait and hope. And it's worked for 80 years. It only didn't work once in 94. But we've been pretty damn lucky that the Rangers have just
That was
been
a big year.
historically
a lot of moments from
horrific.
that. Guaranteed
Historically
victory.
horrific in the Stanley Cup pursuit.
Mark Messier with the hat trick.
Yeah,
No, you're definitely worried about it. I was
pissing
in
and shitting
the
on myself when that happened. I was 0
Richter.
years old. I hadn't even lived a year yet.
we were on the way to the Waste Management when the Tarasenko trade happened, and you just talked to the window for the whole ride. It was like a 35-minute ride, and you were just talking like,
How
no,
about-
that can't be the
just
one.
made
That
no
can't be it."
sense. Like they didn't need more scoring. I don't know.
How about Kaner like revealing that he was upset that happened? Patrick Kaner.
Yeah, I don't know how truthful that was, but it is what it is.
Yeah, just looking for.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a fucking crazy time, man. The Islanders just can't win, and Tiger Woods is playing golf again. It's wild.
I don't know. I'm viewing this as a bonus weekend that we get to watch Tiger genuinely show up and play golf. Like
I
he
agree.
thinks he can
It's
win
not a
this
major.
tournament. I haven't really. Yeah,
It's
I
nice to
haven't
see him
really-
in non-major form, where it's like this is just a
Yeah.
tournament
If he wins, he gets the most wins of all time.
because there's not as much pressure on it.
When I saw
Yeah,
the
true.
clips this morning of him in 40-degree weather, putting on the hat, putting on like getting all warm, it looked to me like a guy who was like, I want to fucking play golf. He like was excited to be out there, and that makes me excited because last year was a grind. And Danny said it when he was on that maybe Tiger shouldn't have played all last year. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's probably some truth to it. But now that they've got this new taping method, which to me sounds like they flew to a foreign country and they got his blood spun like Kobe did when he got his knee replaced. But whatever it may be, he seems excited to be playing the game of golf again, and that's the best Tiger you can ask for.
It's amazing that he thinks he can still win. When you watch Full Swing episode 2, Brooks Koepka's at it's at the Masters, and he's sitting at his table, and he's like, I can't compete with these guys. He's like, Scotty Scheffler shot what, like 63 today? He's like, I don't have that. Like, I can't do that. It's amazing that Tiger Woods, with everything that he's gone through, sits at his dinner table and talks to his family and says, I can do that. I mean, that's a completely different side of the spectrum of two mentally stable guys. Like one guy is just a robot and the other guy is like at the bottom of his, self being right now. He's told people that like he feels like he's at the bottom of the barrel. But still, man, the fact that Tiger thinks he can go out there and win is nuts. It's nuts.
Has the Brooksy crowd weighed in yet on their hero, performance in episode 2? I haven't really heard
I don't know that he has like a big following, really. I mean, he's
the Blake of the Year crowd or whatever.
He's just-
if that's like their guy.
a lot of
I haven't seen episode 2. I
bikini
will
shots.
say-
A lot of bikini
starting-
shots in that episode from Jenna
that
Sims.
makes sense.
It
from,
really is a testament
relationship.
to live that what happens when you go there. And again, however you feel about it, whatever, but you do kind of go into the abyss. Like you're not in the sight line of people who are going to be talking about you.
It's crazy because I'm only through 2 episodes and hopefully they show it. Maybe they don't, but like he is so upset that all he cares about is winning because he's like sitting in a fucking $10 million house. He's got Jenna Sims on his arm. He's got the whole entire world and he's like depressed, like legitimately walking around with yellow hair and like sitting on the fucking edge of his pool, just like looking out in the water being like, I can't believe I'm not winning tournaments anymore. He's like, I wake up wishing that I was just holding up a trophy. He said he didn't even know who won the Masters. He was like, was it Scotty? Like I didn't want, like he couldn't even watch because he missed the cut. And then that guy ends up going to live. It's like, was it because he reached the fucking bottom of the barrel and he's like, this is just it now. I can't get back and I'm about to get paid $150 million, whatever it is. And I don't give a fuck anymore.
It does feel like a juxtaposition. Like, why would he do that if that's, he wants to win meaningful events? Those are on the PGA Tour. It's weird because it's a conversation we've had a lot about like, oh, well, these guys make all this money. It's like, aren't they just going to chill and live the dream? It's like, well, no, they got to do something. And that something is they want to compete and they want to do what they've always done. They wake up every day trying to win golf tournaments, trying to hit the best shots that they can. That's more meaningful and more fulfilling than just having X amount of money. So it seems like a weird fucking move. Again, I haven't watched episode 2. I will say I've started to see some tweets coming in the last hour or so. People are starting to catch up and watch the episodes. Rave reviews. People are loving it.
Oh, people are definitely going to love it. It's good drama. It's a great show. Like I enjoyed it. I watched it for an hour and a half and legitimately didn't look at my phone once. I was very, very into it. I wanted to know everything. I can't wait for the Tony Finau episode. Him and his family look like they're the greatest people on the earth. Everything was great. It's just, there's just some things. It definitely opens up some doors where like you think you get to like I don't know how Brooks Koepka was feeling when he signed with
Right.
with
I'll
Liv
tell you
now.
what, the Brooks stuff that you're explaining sounds like the most interesting stuff that we've talked about.
But then he's like in his house and he's looking at this shelf and he's like, the only thing that matters is putting a Masters like trophy there.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that matters. So maybe he doesn't give a fuck about the PGA Tour and he only cares about the majors. And then like got, this, has this confidence that he's going to be able to get into every single major, even if he's on Live, right? Like,
Right.
who knows what his thought was? Like, maybe he doesn't care about winning the fucking Genesis and all these things. Maybe he only cares about filling up that trophy case with every single, career Grand Slam, and then that's it. And that's all he cares about.
Well, that was his MO before he went to Live.
Right.
We would talk about how he doesn't necessarily care all
Major
that much
whisperer.
about regular season events, and then he would just go win all these PGAs and US Open, and like, yeah, that's interesting, because the Brooks you normally get, or the one that you see, is cocky and he's confident and he's like, I can win these I'll just show up to these majors and I'm going to win them. So it's interesting to see the other side of that. I'm very interested to watch that.
Me too. I'm excited to check it out. All right, boys. Well, I'm excited. I'm jacked up for Tiger Woods. I'm pumped for Riviera. It's Rapp said it, but it's funny that there's Tiger sucking all of the excitement. Yeah, he's everything, but we also might get to, we got Rory and JT playing with Tiger Woods. We got Homa playing at one of his favorite courses, and the Riviera always kind of stands above the rest in terms of the venue and the course. People rave about it, so we get to watch all that. So it's gonna be a big weekend for golf. I'm jacked up. Anybody have anything else?
We have a hat in the store that is that has golf across, and it's one of the hats that I used to wear, or I still do wear, that gets the most comments. It's a tailor-made golf hat, and it just says golf across it. And we just released a hat, and I think there's still a few left. And the reason I'm saying this is because I cannot believe, I don't know if we've done enough promotion on it. I don't know. We've sold out hats and shirts and hoodies all over the place, right? The fact that this golf hat is still on sale with the old school TaylorMade logo on the side is fucking insane. It's the best hat ever. It just says golf across with a Barstool logo being the O. And then on the side, yeah, you're showing it on YouTube right now. That TaylorMade logo, that old school like 90s TaylorMade logo is insane. That's a great hat. I think we have like a handful of blues left and a bunch of grays left. So go on the website. Go look at like the foreplay section.
Have the gray. I might buy
the hat is right there on the website. You're gonna love it. It's a great form-fitting, hard, nice feeling hat. You got to go get it because it's one that's a showstopper when you show up to the tee box this year.
Showstopper.
Oh, and we have a video with Tommy Fleetwood coming out.
That's right.
It came out yesterday.
Should be out already.
It's a great video. Yeah, so it's a great video. Go check it out. Tommy Fleetwood is the best. This is the beginning of our TaylorMade series where we kind of got wacky with the guys, where it's not just like, oh, we're going to try and beat you in this just like hole. We're going to try and get the ball in closer than you can. Now it's like, how far can you hit it to get closer to the pin than we can by staying at the same distance? And it's just showing off how fucking skilled these guys actually are. And the edit's great. They're quick, fun, exciting videos. So go check it out. It's already out. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, go check out our YouTube page. Go check out the store at barstoolsports.com. Big thanks to our sponsors, Chevy, Whoop, and the Barstool Sportsbook, where you can be red hot like me. It's going to be a little bit too late unless you're listening to this really early in the morning. Get on the For the Cut, but that is under exclusives. Then you go bet with Barstool. You might have to bet more with Barstool or more bets with Barstool. Bang, you'll see the For the Cut. It's plus like 925 or something this week. So if you hit that one, it's great. We'll be back on Tuesday to break down everything from Tiger Woods and the Riviera weekend. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.